Okay, here we go. Drink some water out of my copper cup. Mm. Uh, okay, this is a making of an Instagram. Um, I gotta set the Instagram up. Um, but what's happening now? We're in a season. Let me not put this up yet because I gotta talk to you first. We're in a season right now. In fact, let me put on my glasses so I look intellectual. Right now, I'm in Southern Africa, and this is the time of year the schools have ended. It's a long break until January, basically. So all of December, well, all the kids are out of school. Anyway, the point is, right now, there's a lot of the boys that go to the bush. The bush is just where you go, and you get. I guess you get. I've never been to the bush here. I've been. Well, I'll get to that in a second. Uh, and I guess they learn manly things. And there's also where they'll have circumcision happens, under guidance, and then you come out of the bush and you're a man. You can claim manhood. Okay. So that's what's happening now. Now here's the interesting thing. Um, uh, when I look at it, I've been in South Africa like 20 whatever years, and so I've seen a lot of these ceremonies. When they go to the bush, they come back and they go to the bush with a group of men and boys and like that, and they do the ceremony and come back out. Now, if you look back right now, right now in the states. I come from the states. There's a thing called the Divine Nine. That's the Greek fraternities that were started in the United States, and they hold some vestiges, whatever. They hold some remnants of uh, of African civilization. Is going to the bush thing, because there's a ceremony for when a man becomes a man. I guess women have their own ceremonies too. Um, and interestingly enough, like any life, any situation, it has its natural life form, and then it morphs. It can either deteriorate or elevate, I guess. Um, Now, let me just go and do it this way. I belong to a fraternity. I made my fraternity when I was 16 years old, 1966, whenever it was, right? Um, and fraternity is based on basically those Greek things. So there's a lot of hazing, harassment, and then right when my fraternity was, well, my line was, so I was on the third line of my fraternity, Pentecost military fraternity. People need to know that. Um, but we had the original founders, right? And then people started coming. So, for instance, you had the first line, you had the second line, and the second line, somewhere in the second line, Jerry Donaldson came in, who was he's like a historian and a visionary like that. And so the fraternity morphed from just the regular Greek divine nine kind of thing, where they got to weed people out, they got to find people's character, you do all kinds of things, and da 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 da. So my line, the second line, as well as the third line, especially the third line, my line, we had this dose of like the old style and the mental like that. It's like really really interesting, right? Um, and so I came through that kind of system. Now this day and age, the harassment, people have talked about, well, you can't be beating on people. It's like slavery, and then beating children. If you don't know the argument, you don't know the argument. So anyway, let me just set this up. So here I am thinking, I'm seeing the boys go into the bush, and I realize that, again, and they're I guess they're a little bit over 16 or 17. Right now, because there's so many college fraternities and stuff like that, they're all like 17, 18, 19, like that. So I'll go into some other time. I'll talk about that. But anyway, because you have that situation, uh, this is when young men, and they're very impressionable. They still haven't gotten. They're just going through their prosecution, but their sexual phase and stuff like that. They got the hormones and whatever they got going. Well, I'm looking at this kind of stuff, and I'm saying, like, these folks, you know, um, even in Africa, let's take this when they go to the bush now. Now, I'm in a closer stronghold. So I don't know what the Zulus do. See, the Shaka Zulu had this whole other thing. Said, my warriors ain't gonna get those circumcision. They'll put them out of commission for whatever days or weeks or whatever it is. No, we need warriors to stay online. So I think in the Zulu culture, they don't really have to have the circumcision part of that if they go to the bush. I really don't know about the Zulu culture that much. Um, so that's sort of different, but the Xhosa culture, they still do that. Okay, but what happens as things? That's why I tell the de-evolving or evolving. So somewhere when they started when rituals, they have altered things. Like for instance, when they go to the bush, usually what happens is the women prepare the brew. It's a beer. It's a beer. It's a natural beer like that, and you drink out of the pot and all the rest of that stuff like that. But somewhere along the lines, I guess some dudes they said, "Hey, uh, we want Hennessy." So they bring them Hennessy instead of having a natural beer, whatever. They pay the French people, whoever makes the Hennessy, to do that. Very weird to me. Anyway, so that's altered, right? And then this whole other thing, what they wear when they come out of the bush, they usually have a cap, not like this, but some of the cap like that they get from a certain store, and they usually have I guess a jacket. They wear a jacket and a cap that matches like that. And I'm saying like, oh, so basically you're doing whatever the colonizer have left you, you incorporate that into your thing. Well, my whole thing is like, okay, well now you have in each area, no matter where you are in South Africa, you have different styles of hats, but they have the women crochet the hats, right? So so my thing is like, okay, you're gonna do this thing. Well, shouldn't you each when you go into the bush at a certain area, shouldn't each area have their own hat knitted by or crocheted by it's knitted by the women of that area, so everybody will have the same color. So at least you have that hat, and then you can have a hat and maybe a matching vest, inside a vest, it's that jacket. So you still well that's my idea. I'm an outsider, so why would you listen to me? Even in my fraternity, I'm an elder. And just 1966. The lines have been going on. Some particular point, the fraternity went into a dormant phase, but the Coram brothers kept it going. The Coram brothers kept it going. Let's put it up. The first, second line brothers kept it going. Uh, so the fraternity still exists today, and we're a service fraternity. We are about uplifting the community and stuff like that. So I'm looking at that, and I'm saying, even with that, since I'm an elder, I don't want to. I attend. There's meetings on Zoom now, so I sort of go to the Zoom meeting, and so now I really don't like to say a lot. In fact, these days I'm saying, look, I'm an elder. If they would need to know what they need to know from me, then they'll just ask me like that. I just a witness, like I'm in real life. I'm a witness traveler. I just witness and let the fraternity keep on growing the way they evolving the way they're evolving, because my experience is different than they did. Okay. So what I'm saying, so how does this react to what I'm going to do right now on Instagram? Oh, yeah, let me get this thing set up. Uh, Come on, thing. Where are you at? Oh, um, and I'm thinking that so when you look at all these like uh, initiation ceremonies, fraternities, or why is this thing not going? Fraternities or especially like a college, when you first go to college, the first few years, you're meeting your friends, you're doing whatever you're doing, and so the thing is, oh come on now, thank you. So the thing when I look at that, I was listening to this guy Vusi. He's a big time motivational speaker. He's an entrepreneur. He advocates for sorry, it's still the morning here. He advocates for entrepreneurship. You know, he's a capitalist like that. Okay, he's a capitalist. and he was on some podcast, and they asked him, say, what about you? They brought up Elon Musk because he's South African, and the guy says, I really don't know about Elon. It seems like if he owes money, he could be doing this, do that, do that. And I'm going like, you don't know about Elon? I thought this is your space. You're supposed to know about these rich guys. You know what I mean? What people have to understand, Elon Musk and the boys, they call it PayPal Mafia, PayPal Gang, whatever they are, right? All them people, all those tech people, what they've done, if they when they got together in college, nobody ever graduates college, whatever, uh, and they plotted their group that they plotted a thing. Just like all these boys going to the bush, there should be groups like that. Even us so-called revolutionaries, we're not supposed to have some sort of a big group. The people on my line, there's only 5 people that made my line. Okay, they went over to cross what we call cross the burning sand, right? But I don't think you have any group more than 5 people. I say three, three. In that little group, you do what you need to do. The PayPal Mafia, I don't know how many people they had in there. Maybe they had 8, whatever. They had a bunch of people, but they're all very successful now. But what they're successful at is they figured out and they pimped the system. So everybody thinks Elon Musk is a trillionaire. No, he got all his money from the United States government contracts. Think about that. So he ain't rich. All these people that get this stuff, all these so-called trillionaires, if you really dig into it, no, the government, they got government contact, or they make it so that you see how that works. So so I don't pay any attention to who's a trillionaire, who's not a trillionaire, and all the rest of that stuff because it doesn't make any sense. Because I know the real deal. And you know how I learned this too? From a movie with the Spirit of St. Louis, right? What's that? The Lindbergh guy was, right? Well, he was the Lindbergh is one of the people. The Lindbergh. Well, he was the one that flew the. He was a mail carrier. And what's the mail? The mail is a government thing. So a lot of these people got these things, including these airlines. What's the guy? Uh, the Hugh guy, the guy that had all the money, that had the airlines and the rest of that stuff. All them kind of people, they got their stuff from government. So what can we say? Let me do the Instagram. I'll get right back to you. And well, let's see what happens. Here we go. Hey, Instagram, it's me, T, from the Pattersons, taking the train. But real quick, there's this guy in South Africa. He's a motivational speaker. He's a Vusi guy. Anyway, he goes around. He wants entrepreneurs and people have do better for themselves like that. And he had a question one night on a podcast. He talking about Elon Musk. He said he can't really figure out Elon Musk and blah blah blah. So I can figure out Elon Musk. Him and the PayPal gang, they done got together when they were young and when they were just starting out, whatever they were doing, right? And they say, oh, here's how we can get out. Ding, 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 ding. They made the contacts here with over there. They pimped the government over there and got the government contract, and then get into a certain circle of people, and these people get the and so now they're so-called no, they're not trillionaires. They just pimp the United States government. That's all the government. The United States is a place where you come, you do you. It's like what's used to say, if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. If you can make it in the United States, you can make it anywhere because it's designed for that. All right? Just to let you know. So there you go. A little Instagram. Let's see how that goes. As we know, this as you should know, this is the YouTube feed right here. And what happens with the YouTube feed is put up my YouTube channel because this is not monetized. I don't let no shares, no likes, none of that stuff because it's for archival purposes only. That's why I started my YouTube channel. Lodos, I think it started I think somehow 2011 is in my head, but I really officially started going in 2013 or something like 14, something like that. But the point is, when I started, they asked if they want to be monetized, and I didn't none of that stuff, right? Because I know it's all a scam. That's all I'm trying to say. Everything comes out of the United States. It's a scam. You can scam your way through the United States and get the states, and you get what you need to get, and then you can call yourself a trillionaire or this there and that. but you're still worthless. It's worthless. Just letting you know. Look, me, T from the Pattersons, take the train to Pitt. Just letting you know what I only suspect.